Hi, my name is Maddie Friel, and how I started the process of researching my sources was I tried to focus mainly on the sources that had a lot of information in order for me to analyze my topics well. And then what material I thought should be added into this course was I think that there should be 1 week of us talking about different songs because that was one of my topics and how it represents gender studies. One of the topics I chose was the song Church Bells by Carrie Underwood, and she talks about how this lady was forced into an abusive marriage and just how I don't know, just analyzing a song could be cool. And then the topic that I think should be expanded was during week 11 there was a movie, a documentary that we watched, and I feel like that should have been expanded since it's a topic concerning that it happens often in this real world, about sexual abusement and all of that. And then how I decided the sources that I chose was I picked the topics first, the non-academic and academic, and I wanted to research more about the books, movie, I chose a book, a movie, a website, a song, and a podcast. And then I looked up information on each of those categories and found the best sources to go along with what I was trying to write. And I didn't get help from the writing center. I was able to come up with these on my own, and I thought I did a pretty good job. The first source that I chose, it was a book called Men Are Better Than Women, and the book was basically about how it's important to remember that it's frequently criticized for its controversial themes, and many readers view it as a satire rather than a sobbing incitement of male superiority. And then it's an insightful and lighthearted examination of gender norms and perceptionists. And I think that this would make a good addition to this course because it talks about men's superiority over women, but the author kind of showed it in a comedy way. So I feel that might be kind of fun. And then the second source was a drama film called A Marine Story. And the movie explores a lot about the issues of prejudice, identity, and the harsh realities of the LGBTQ community and people who have a job in the military. And the documentary explores the effects of the don't ask, don't tell policy and the individual journeys of the people who had to face their own truths. And I think that this will make a good addition to this course because a lot of the LGBTQ people are mistreated, and it explores the characters, emotions, and the ways it affected her life and job in the military. The third source was an article called New Psychology Research Finds and People Feel More Attached to Gendered Technology. And according to this research, the gendered presentation of technology can affect the user's views and attachments, which illuminates the importance of gender in human technology interactions. And it starts crucial discussions on the effect of gender stereotypes in this society. And I think that this would be a good addition because the article talks about how gender can affect human technology, and technology is a huge thing during this time period, so that might be kind of cool. The fourth source that I chose was the song Church Bells by Carrie Underwood, and I talked about this earlier, but the song is about how this woman has a wish to flee her suffering, and it's symbolized by the tolling of church bells in the lyrics, and it represents a life filled with violence and suffering. The song's female idol is shown to be resilient, and she takes matters into her own hands by the end of the cycle of abuse, and in the end she seeks justice and liberty. And I think that this would be a good addition because the song is symbolizing heartbreak and identity, which hasn't been talked about at all in this course. The fifth source that I chose was a podcast called Transparenting, and the podcast explores a variety of subjects, including overcoming discrimination and cultural stereotypes, and it's supporting transgender children and navigating the complexity of gender identity within a family dynamic. And I think that this would be a good addition because the podcast explains the struggles with transgender kids and their parents, and some parents don't accept their kid for going wanting to be a different gender, and I think that's a very important topic to talk about. And then I was interested in all of these topics in the first place because they're all very different from each other, and I feel that all these topics have a strong and emotional attachment with gender studies, and I enjoyed doing research on all of them. I think that if any of these topics were added in this course, it could potentially even help any mental struggles that students are going through. Thank you. Bye.